The Biodiversity Forum was established in 2007 under the umbrella of the Biosecurity Managers Group to provide an opportunity for regional council staff involved in biodiversity activities to coordinate the activities and link with LGNZ, Local Government New Zealand. So it's convened by Rob Phillips, who's also the convener of the Biosecurity Managers Group, and it reports back to the Regional Council Chief Executives Forum. Priorities it has is to develop a consistent approach to reporting on national priorities, particularly those relating to biodiversity in place of this national policy statement. Those of you who've been involved in local and national government politics may be aware that there was quite a bit of arm wrestling a couple of years ago between, I think, primarily DOC and MFE about how biodiversity priorities should be promulgated to local government, about whether it should come through a national policy statement or whether it should come through as a recommendation. And it was put through as a recommendation. It's also to look at how regions are addressing biodiversity in their review of their regional policy statements, and to coordinate advice to CRIs on how biodiversity research proposals should go prior to submission to force. So trying to have some influence on the sort of research that should be carried out. So the number of topics covered at the last meeting in February, and I'll just briefly mention the topics. LCDB satellite imagery, the International Year of Biodiversity, pest control and its role for carbon sequestration, looking to how we could work with DOC on the NIMS technical group for ongoing cooperation, looking at the work being done by councils on national priorities in terms of both inventory and monitoring, and a consistent approach to reporting, looking at Tim Park's work on connectivity, looking at biodiversity offsets, and use of biodiversity funds. Two issues that focused on in particular was the national priority reporting, the national priorities that were sent down by central government to regional councils through MFE and DOC to direct biodiversity work on private land. The survey of councils showed that most of the existing biodiversity programs are not consciously aligned to these national priorities, although there is some incidental alignment. There's little formal monitoring being undertaken at the moment, and the monitoring data that's been collected can't be readily aggregated to provide consistent national reporting. So there's opportunity, I think, to look at NIMS to see whether that would provide a good approach to reporting on biodiversity values and cost effectiveness of the work being done on private land, and also looking at Auckland Regional Council's priority setting and monitoring tool, which appears to be reasonably consistent with NIMS. So there's going to be some further work done on that. And the second one is the proposal by MFE to look at a national policy statement of biodiversity, something that the National Party and Maori Party have been talking about. And there's a need, obviously, for councils to look at liaising with regional chief executives on this to see how we can best have some input into the development of this national policy statement. So it's just another group, it's just another role, but biodiversity currently fits best with regional government under the biosecurity umbrella because of the existing structure there. At the moment, local government doesn't have a good system for ecologists to meet and interact, and this may well develop for that in the future.